Okay, so I got a new audio interface, a Focusrite Claret 2 Pre. It's really good. It came with a little sample pack, some drums samples here of an acoustic recorded kit. What I want to do is take those samples, make a little groove, 2-bar groove out of it, and show you how you can create a much better sounding selection of drums and turn it into a really nice groove just by a little bit of EQing and other effects and stuff. Alright, so I've already preset some channels up here, so let's start to drag these in. Got a very basic groove here, and let's start now with the sub. Solo in this, let's see what this sounds like. So really we only need the boominess of this sub because the body and the more higher end of the kick is going to be taken care of in the other kick body sample. Alright, so what I always tend to do is also add a really steep high pass filter and cut off anything below 35 Hertz because you're never going to hear it, you're never going to need it. Alright. Just going to disable these other channels for a sec. So it's quite a nicely recorded kick, but it's lots of background noise, and I feel the tail of it is a bit long, so I just want to tidy that up a little bit. Alright, so we can hear those two samples sit together a little nicer now. Okay, one thing I want you to notice here is that all these samples are stereo samples. So what I want to do is, particularly with the low end stuff, is we want it to be mono generally. We don't want it to take up too much stereo space. So what I'm going to do, rather than pan it, what you would a lot of the time would do is just bring the width all the way down to 0 there. But all that's doing is adding the left and the right on top of each other. So with some stereo samples, particularly things like claps and snares or hats, where there's two separate recordings in the left and right, maybe two different claps or something like that, which sound great stereo because they mix well. If you want it to be mono and you do this, you're just adding them on top of each other, and that can create a little bit of phasing sometimes. So instead of doing that, we're going to select either the left or the right. Now, it doesn't mean you'll only hear it in your left or right. It's just taking one of the samples and bringing it to the center. So we're going to copy that and do it on the body of the kick as well. Okay, I feel like I want to do something with the tail of these kicks, both the sub and the body now. So starting with the sub, I'm actually going to change what I want to do is just loop the first one. And into it, and I'm going to actually change the transient loop mode to the forward loop. And I'm going to bring the volume fade down. So you can hear we're really taking off the tail of the sub. You see it lasts for ages, doesn't it, at 100%? About 35 works for me there. Alright, let's hear that back with the body. I feel... Sorry, my dog is snoring really loudly in the background. I should have taken him out before I started this video. That was not taking him out in that way. You know what I mean? Right. Let's. I want to do the same with the kick body now. Doesn't need quite as much reduction. Okay, I think that's quite a nice blend. Okay, so it looks a little bit messy with these leftover bits, but let's not worry about that for now. Let's take a look at the snare and do some similar stuff, okay. Okay, bear with me. I'm just going to have to remove my dog from the room. Be right back. Vinny. Okay, where were we? Right, with the snare. Okay, sounded pretty good. Let's get another EQ on. Take out the super lows. Just want to boost the peak of it a little bit there. Maybe some of the high mids. Where the bite is. Alright. Okay, let's move on to the hi-hats now. So, with them lined up like this, it sounds really fake. We've got to make them sound a lot more human. Okay, let's take the first one. Now here's a little trick for you. Right, first of all, this is where the samples start. It's going to play from. So just to get 4 different sounds, I'm going to change the start point ever so slightly for each sample. Okay, see if you can hear the difference. So already it's got a little bit more of a groove, more of a human feel. We're hitting the samples starting at a slightly different point on each one, and you can do that as many times as you want, really. There's also quite a lot of reverb tail on this, so once again, individually this time, I'm going to bring the end of the transient in. Okay. And you can also make that amount different for each sample as well, give it even more variety. All right, yeah, not too bad. So let's make those kicks tighten up even more now. I've grouped the two together, I've put a glue compressor on. Without and with. Beautiful. Just adding a tiny bit of extra punch. Let's hear that in context with the other bits. Let's bring these hats down. Okay, the hats could do with a little EQing. Just rolling off some of those lows. Oh, wrong one. I think the snare could punch a little more, couldn't it? Let's compress the snare a touch again. I really want to let the crack of the snare through. Okay, without. And with. Okay, there we go. Some very simple little techniques. How to improve your drum sounds when you're dealing with sample pack samples. Alright guys, thumbs it up. See you next time.